Hi crafters, welcome back and thanks for joining me today. This is Jana with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we're going to make this trifold card. This does have a belly band and it lays flat for shipping. So as I pull off the belly band, you can see I let him hang down. When you open this up, you've got your 4 squares to put your 2024 on. This card requires no die cuts, just a few cuts and scoring, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we need is our scoreboard. And for our base of the card, this is going to be cut at 10 by 7. We're going to flip that over and we are going to score this at 2.5 and 7.5. So this is what you should have. Next, we need one piece, and this is going to be cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Then we'll need 2 pieces, and these will be cut at 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. Then we will need 4 pieces, and these are all cut at 4 by 1 5/8, and then we're going to score these at 1/2, 1, and 3.5. So I'm going to speed up the camera, and I'm going to score all 4 of these. Okay, so those are done. Then we need the belly band, and this is going to be 12 inches by 1.5 inch, and you can make this any thickness you want, and then 12 for the layer by 1 inch. So we're done with the scoreboard, so we're going to move that out of the way. And next we're going to take the base of the card and we're just going to fold those 2 score lines in. I'm going to fold it, make sure it's lined up with the edge, and then crease it out. Then turn it and fold the next one in, make sure it's lined up with that edge again on the center, and then crease that out. So that will be for the base of the card. And then if you want it on the back, you could put a piece of white if you wanted to write a message. So now we're going to work on the layers on the inside. So we're going to take that bigger piece, the 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then the 2 side pieces, and we're going to glue those down. Now I have already added tape, double-sided tape to the back to make this quicker. So I'm just going to pull those pieces of tape off. And then we're going to start with just the right side. I'm going to lay this down, make sure it's even, and then just pull those tabs. Next we'll do the center, again pulling off those tabs. I like to use the poker to help pull the tape off of the top. And then we'll put this right in the center, again making sure we have the border all the way around. And then just pull those tabs away. And then I'll take my bone folder and just crease these out. And then we'll put the last piece on. Again, making sure it's centered. And then just secure it down. So that is for the base of the card. So for the next part, we're going to work on the inside. So for these 4 pieces, I'm just going to take and just crease out all these fold marks. They're all going to be mountain folds. So they'll all go in the same direction. And you'll want to do it on all 4 of them. So I've sped up the camera just to do these very quickly. This is the shape you should have when you're done. Okay, so I'm going to move those out of the way. We're going to turn the card just so it's easier to see. And we're going to glue these down. We want to glue just on the side that has 1 fold. And I'm just going to line these up, and we're going to go the opposite direction on each side. So you'll have the 1 fold on the left, and then on the right, the left and the right, as I'm showing you here. So that's how they're going to line up. So we're going to start on one end. And we're just going to lay this flat. As you line these up, I'm just going to lay these out so you can see. We've got just a little bit of room where we can pat just a little bit of border between them. So I'm going to start with the left one, and I'm going to line it up so it lines up with the layer on the card. So we're going to put glue just on that first tab. We're going to lay it down so it lines up with the fold of this card on the right side. And then just fold that in and press that glue in. Making sure it's lined up and it's at the edge of the card or the edge of the fold. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the opposite end. We're going to line it up so it's with the edge of the paper. Put glue on just that one side that has the one fold. Make sure it's along that edge. And then just line it up. Making sure it's with the edge of the fold too. And then just push that down. Okay, so next we're going to take one more. And we're going to just lay it down. We're going to do it the same direction we just did the last one. And I'm going to lay these on and making sure I've got a border between them just a little bit of clearance. That looks just about good. And then once you have these lined up, you can just go ahead and just leave it. Don't move it. Put glue on that one tab. And then just close it on itself. And it'll be perfectly lined up. And then for the final one, you want to just make sure it's lined up again. As I'm doing here, I'm just keeping it closed. Making sure it's on the fold. And then I'm just going to put the glue on that last flap. And then just close the card on itself. And then just make sure those are secure before you open it. Okay, next we're going to glue the other side. So we're going to lay them down so that both folds are down. We're going to glue just the last flap. We're going to do the right side and then the left side. So you want to put glue on both ends. Then you just want to make sure that these are flat on the folds and then just lay it down. So a little piece will be sticking out like that. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder just to make sure that glue is pressed down so they don't come up. Then we're going to take the other side and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to lay these down. Just fold that flap in so it's on the second fold. Put your glue on the one flap only. Then take it. Make sure your flaps are folded. And then just close it. You'll have that little piece sticking out and you're just going to glue that one flap down. And this is what you should have. You want to make sure these are totally glued before you open your card all the way so they don't move. Then once they're glued down, you can open your card and go ahead and just crease out all those folds. That way the card will just move easily and it won't bind on you as you're opening it. So now for the inside of the card, I've got 20, 24, and I did white letters and gold letters. I didn't like the gold because it didn't show up enough, so we're going to put white on the top. Just going to pull all these out if I can grab them. And then we're just going to glue these to the center of each square. Okay, so I have all my pieces laid out. And I'm going to take just my white glue with a fine tip bottle. I'm just going to glue the two pieces together first. And I'm just going to dot this as I've done before. You don't need too much glue in this. This glue holds pretty good. And then I'm just going to glue the gold one to the back of it so that the white is the one that will be showing up on top. And next I'm going to quickly fast forward through this and do the rest. Next, we're going to glue these to the center of each of these squares. So again, I'm just going to dab some glue on the back of this one. You don't need much glue because you don't want it to come out of the sides. I'm going to grab my tweezers. I'm just going to glue these down. I want to make sure it's right in the center. I'm going to quickly glue the rest of these down. We'll let those sit for a few minutes so they can dry, make sure they don't move on us. So we're going to work on a belly band next. So I've taken the two pieces that are the 12 inches. I'm going to line up my card just on one of these lines just so I can make sure it's even. And then I'm going to take the strip, I'm going to line it up also with another line. It doesn't have to be in the center because this will be moving, so you just want to make sure you're on a line. Fold the first side down. Then we're going to take the other side, we're going to lift it up. And then we're just going to fold that over. You want to make sure that you leave just a little bit of give on it so that it will slide off easily. So I'm just kind of measuring it there. Then I'm going to lay these down, make sure that they're lined up. You don't have to crease these out if you don't want to. I like to crease mine out. Again, making sure it's lined up, and then go ahead and just crease it. Then I'm going to put it back on the card just to make sure that it does fit and that it slides. Okay, so once I know that that is exactly where I want it, I'm going to take it off, and it does slide good, and we're going to put the top piece, the layer, on top. So I'm just going to line this up, fold it over, and then I'm going to glue just one side on. I'm not going to glue this all the way around. I'm just going to glue the one side. If you glue it all the way around, sometimes it'll buckle on you because you have it too tight. So if you just glue one side, and then just fold it again on the last one, making sure it's even. You can do it either way. You can do it on the top or the bottom. Just make sure that you got it even. And then once you have it even, go ahead and glue it. I'm just creasing that out just to make sure that it is straight. And that looks good. So then I'm going to put glue just on this last flap. And we're going to secure that down. And again, this just helps so that it won't buckle on you on the back if you don't glue it all the way. We're going to put this back on the card one more time just to make sure that it does fit and that it slides. And then you can either glue it on the right side or the top of it. You can glue this either way. So I've got my flap going this way, but we're actually going to end up turning it for the embellishment that I'm going to put on the top. So when you do your embellishment, it's where you want it because you want to hide that seam. So for now I'm just gluing it because we can take it off and then turn it. And you can see it slides pretty easy. So now for the little guy, this is another character that I drew. And I'm going to have him, I think I'm going to have him just standing on the card right about there, just like he's strutting into the new year. So I'm going to put glue on that seam. I'm going to put it on his head. And his head is going to cover the seam of the belly band. And again, if this is upside down right now, because we haven't looked at the inside of the card, it doesn't matter because we can flip it. So he works good on there, and he's just at the edge of the card. And then I have Happy New Year. And again, I did it in double. This is in gold. I'm going to glue these together, and these are going to sit right here on the belly band. So I'm going to use that quick white glue again. Again, just dotting it just around. Then I'm going to take the second layer, glue it to that first layer, make sure it's lined up, and then secure it. And then I'm going to take the same white glue and I'm going to glue this to the belly band right about here. Now we are going to take this and secure it to the belly band. I'm just making sure it's even and in the center of it, and then just press that down. And I'll take my bone folder and just kind of push on some of those letters. I think I'm going to glue his hand down too, so I'm just going to put glue on his hand and then stick that to the belly band. Okay, so while the belly band is drying, we're going to put that to the side. We're going to work on the inside just a little bit more. I have a bunch of stars that I cut out of the same color of the glitter paper for the Happy New Year. I'm just going to glue these just randomly around. You just want to make sure that you don't glue any where it will stop the card from closing or opening, so make sure they don't catch. But they can go on the tops and bottoms of all of these as long as it doesn't go to the point where the card closes. So I'm just kind of measuring it just to see how far I can go. I'm putting glue on these. I'm just putting it on one of the little legs of the star and then just securing it down. So you can even put one like right here because it's not going to get in the way. I'm going to continue to glue a lot of these down. Thank goodness I ran out of stars because that was quite a bit that we put on there. All right, so we're just going to close this again, put on the belly band, and then I saved 2 stars. So we're going to glue one above the Happy New Year. And then I'm going to glue one to his hand, kind of like he's holding on to a star. I think that'll be cute. I'm just going to apply just a little bit of glue because I don't want it to stick to the card. That's the card that we made today. I hope you enjoyed crafting along with me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Until next time, happy crafting. I hope you have a great day, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.